So when we are choosing fonts, there are lots of free font sites available out there. My favorite one is dafont.com. So that is DAFONT.com. And the reason why I like this particular site is because you can see what your text is going to look like within that font. So we have all these great categories here, groovy, interesting category. We have old school, which has a lot of sportsman-like fonts like you would see on varsity jackets. We have different types of fonts from different eras and different cultures. We have lots of nice scripty kind of handwritten fonts. There's just a great array of fonts. We also have a set of fonts called Dingbats, which are picture fonts. So these are fonts that actually have characters that are attached to a letter on the keyboard. So we can use these to create logos. So if we need a symbol for a logo, you don't necessarily have to know how to draw one. You could actually pick a picture font or a dingbat font and use one of these symbols to use in your logo. So this is how we use this particular website. So dafont.com. And this is where you want to choose any category. So I'm going to choose Celtic. My last name is MacLeod, so I'm looking for a font that might go well with my Celtic name, MacLeod. And right here where you see the word preview, this is where you're going to type in the text that you wish to see the font in. So in this particular case, I would like to see what my name looks like in this font. I'm going to move across the menu here and click Submit. Once I've clicked Submit, I can see how all the characters of that font works with the characters in my name. And as you can see, some of them are just not going to work well with, with how my letters are placed together. You can also see that some letters aren't going to work well together, and this would have to be manipulated in Illustrator. So these letters are nice and tight together, but we have this huge gap here, and that's built right into the character of the font. So, but we can manipulate that in Illustrator, so that's not the problem. But there will be, if you're typing out headlines and things like that, and that's the purpose of the font, then you'll want to make sure that all the letters work well together and are legible. This is not a font I would choose here just based on not the greatest legibility. I like this font called Livingstone. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to click here on my name, and when I preview the font here, I can see all the characters that are attached to the letters of the alphabet. Now, if you notice, I have no uppercase. I simply have lowercase available to me. I do have numbers, and I do have an @ sign and a pound key. So I do have other characters that are available to this font. So always check your fonts. What is the purpose of the font that you are using? And if it's for a business card, you probably will have an email address, which means you're going to need the @ sign. If that's not available, it's a matter of finding another font that's similar that has it if you're dead set on using this font, or finding another font that's similar altogether, and avoid this font based on the fact that it's lacking those particular characters that you need to complete your final print project or web project for that matter. So now that I've chosen my font, I need to download it. So I'm going to click on download, and I'm going to save it to my desktop. This is actually going into my downloads. And what I need to do is I need to open that folder. It probably downloaded as a zip. My computer's set up to automatically expand my zip files. So you'd want to open the zip file, then open the folder within the zip file. So I have lots going on here, obviously, and this is what's inside the folder. So here I have this text document, clearly not what I want to use. So if we take a look at what kind of file this is, so I'm just going to move this over. This is called a true type font. So that's the file that we need, the .ttf. There is also one called an open type font, an OTF, which works great for Macs. But the TrueType font works just as well on Macs. They're integratable for font now. But the OTF is for Mac only. So it doesn't work. It doesn't have the same capabilities and options on a PC as it does on a Mac. So what we do with this .ttf font is we double click it, and we will get a menu that comes up that asks us to install the font. Now, on a PC, your install font will be at the top left of your menu screen here. This is a Mac, so this is the way it shows up here, but you'll have an install font button. So that's all you have to do is just click install. As soon as it's installed, mine's asking me for validation. It says it has a couple problems, so I need to proceed with caution with this font. You might get these alerts on your Mac computer. You will not get them on your PC. But this is just something to be aware of, just in case you run into any problems with the font. I've downloaded this before, and I've had no problems whatsoever with the font. So as soon as I've now installed the font, I definitely want to save it. So if you're on a PC at the school, you'll want to save it. And in order to use that font, I've got a Word document open, so I can create a new blank document. And I can start using that font right away as soon as I've downloaded it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start typing the word Livingstone, which is the name of my font. Don't forget to remember to write down the name of your font. And all I have to do is go into this menu here. And this is the same whether you're in Photoshop, InDesign, Illustrator, the top left-hand corner with your type tool. You can just start typing in the name of your font, and it will start popping up. So we can use it right away. And Control Shift greater than, increase the size of the font. And there you have it. There's the font that you've just installed. And that's how simple it is to install and use a font on your computer.